Week 13 is upon us after a pretty good week 12. Last week on here, we really did a pretty good job. We had some great stacks. We had Brady, Wilson, Wentz, Ryan, all quarterbacks in the 20s, all performed. Nobody went crazy last week, so that's really what you needed to cash in. We had the Ryan Julio stack, which obviously you had to have to win a tournament. If you didn't have Julio and his 50 whatever points last week, you weren't going to win a tournament. So start with that. You had to either have Julio, or Julio and a Ryan stack, or just Julio. We had the Gronk Brady stack, which obviously was great, and we had the Wentz Alshon revenge stack. So that worked out well. Excuse me. We had Kamara, pretty aggressive last week over Ingram with his 39.80 points. We had Coleman, who had a touchdown. DeMarco Murray, not great, but salvaged the day with a touchdown. Duke Johnson had a pretty solid double-digit day. And, of course, at tight end, we had Croft and Gronk. They both did well. And our Eagles D was a great play. They only ended up with 13 points, which is a solid week. I mean, you can win a GPP with that, absolutely. Unfortunately, they didn't score a touchdown. So on to week 13. We're getting down the tail stretch here. This is really where we can kick ass and take numbers and make some money. So this is a big quarterback week here, so we're just going to rifle through this quickly. Phillip Rivers is my number one play. I know it's a 14-point spread, but San Diego has the highest total of the week at 28.3 points. Rivers is $7,000. Cleveland is number one against the run and 27th against the pass. Now, that number one against the run is deceptive. That's because nobody runs on them because you can pass on them all day. So they're good against the run because they stop like 5 runs a game. So I worry a little bit about the run in this game, but I think you'll see more of Eckler, less of Gordon, and I love Rivers here in this spot. I chose him over Kirk Cousins in my season-long must-win game, too. This is going to be a sleeper here, a quiet one. I'm actually going to look something up while I do it. Derek Carr. So everybody's going to be off Carr at 6,100, but the defense is 23rd against the pass. Sorry, I just want to look up a salary. 23rd against the pass. That's a good matchup. Crabtree out. Cooper almost definitely out. So his top 2 wide receivers are out. Everybody's going to go to Cooks. But I will say Seth Roberts at 3,700 and Cordell Patterson and anyone else at 3,400 and anyone else they really put in there is just fine. And I think Carr, they're big play threats. Roberts, Patterson, all the receivers are all big play threats. So Carr throws the ball deep. This is a great matchup. He has Jared Cook. I have a feeling, this is a really sneaky spot to jump on Carr here. I wouldn't worry so much about the receivers as much as the opponent. I like Case Keenum, because you got to keep riding him. 22.3 total. Excuse me, guys. I'm going to have to bear with the losing my voice today. 18th against the pass. 32nd against running backs coming out of the backfield. So you'll go back to this in a bit, but I love Jerick McKinnon in this game. I think the Jets-Chiefs game has a chance to be a high-scoring game. I wouldn't go crazy, but I'll have some exposure to Smith and McCown, Tyreek Hill, and Robbie Anderson in a game stack there. So Smith, Anderson, Hill, McCown, Anderson, Hill. I like Brady and Breeze from some exposure. Brady's pretty much delivering 20 points every week. Gronk going home to his hometown. Breeze, interesting game here. I like him. I think this is a game where he could find Michael Thomas, and Michael Thomas could kind of pull off a Julio Jones. Plus, what Kamara is doing, on screen passes and out of the backfield is tough to ignore. Go into a couple of value plays. So let's see if I get bitten on this one. But Trevor Siemian is $4,800. He is the quarterback this week. He had 20 points 3 times earlier in the season when he started. This is a phenomenal matchup for Denver. Okay, you have solid receivers, assuming Emmanuel plays, in Thomas and Emmanuel. They are 31st against the pass, Miami. This is a really interesting spot for Siemian here to really go off, and you can own him at 4,800, and you can just go look what kind of value you can add and what kind of plays you can add if you own your quarterback at 4,800. And I think Hundley's interesting. 5,100. Again, Tampa is just atrocious against the pass. That's why we did what we did last week against them with Atlanta. But I do think that, look, you got great receivers. Hundley's starting to get more comfortable. The game's at home. 5,100. I will have exposure, a lot of exposure to the Green Bay offense. A little bit of Hundley, but a lot everywhere else. So we'll come back to that. Running back. So what do you do about the, Kamara, Ingram? Last week I said let's go with Kamara, and I still feel that way. He's getting up there. He's 8,400, but man, the guy's bringing it. 30, 40-point ceiling, and he brings you, while Ingram could certainly have a great day and 3 touchdowns, Kamara is doing more. He's more explosive. One play can make your day, which with Ingram, you're more about, can he get 3 touchdowns inside the 10? So if I play this at all, it would be Kamara. I will have some exposure to him. Not as much as in the past weeks. Not because I don't like the matchup, but it's a little tougher. Carolina's defense is pretty legit. Davis, Kuechly, you get some good people in there. I love Jerick McKinnon this week, and we'll have heavy exposure to him, as I said earlier. I love this play against, I think he has a lot more of a ceiling than Murray. Much more upside. He could lose a touchdown or 2 on the 1-yard line. We know that. But this is a game where I expect Keenum to throw the ball and target McKinnon a lot. And I'm all over that one here. I think Marshawn Lynch is interesting at 4,800 because they're 25th against the run. But again, as I said earlier, 31st against the pass, and I'm more about Carr in this game and some of the receivers and running backs who are going to go very under the radar. I think, the Patriots situation, if I went there, I'd go Deion Lewis. Jordan Howard, 6,500 against the worst run defense, in the world, San Francisco. He'll be chalky. Shady McCoy will also be chalky, but because they're playing the Patriots, he may be a little bit low owned, but he's their only hope. But I think Howard will be chalky here. I like him. Williams has put up for Green Bay at 4,700. He's put up 29 and 13 points the last 2 weeks, and Tampa is not good against anything. The question for me in the Green Bay game is, where is the offense going to go? Through the air or on the ground? If it goes on the ground, Williams is going to be a home run this week. If it's through the air, then you're going to get some tons of upside with the receivers and Hundley. So you got to decide, and I'm going to hedge both. I'm going to have some running exposure to Williams and completely separate some passing exposure to their passing offense. Probably Hundley, Jordy, Adams, and then put some Williams in some other lineups where I don't have the Green Bay receivers. I like, I can't even read this. Carlos Hyde, I got to tell you, Carlos Hyde, $5,900. He's going to carry the ball 15 times. He's going to get targeted 6. It's a good matchup. He's put double digits up most weeks. This is a week where you can try to stay in the $6,000 to $4,200 range on running back and really beef up at receiver. Eckler for the Chargers, same thing, $4,200. He's put up 10, 13, 27, and 14 in 4 of the last 5 weeks. Tough to argue with that, a 4,200 against, an incredible matchup against Cleveland. Running the ball, catching the ball, lined up as a running back, as a slot receiver, etc. Wide receiver this week, let's just go through the stacks. Breeze and Thomas, Breeze and Ginn. At some point, Michael Thomas is going to have his Julio Jones moment from last week. And I feel the same way about Evans. If Winston is playing, Evans is going to have, or Thomas is going to have a 3-touchdown game before the season's over. We waited and waited for Julio to have it, and then he had it. Both of these guys have matchups here, especially Evans, where it could happen this week. So I'll have a small exposure to both of them in a stack. Look, for Rivers, for me, I'm going to be stacking Rivers with Keenan Allen, even though he's 8,300, because he's put up 37 and 43 points 2 weeks in a row. And until he proves me otherwise, I'm not going to miss that. Because if you do a Rivers-Allen stack and it happens again, you're going to really be in the running to win a tournament. I am going to have Rivers with Eckler. I'm going to have Rivers with Travis Benjamin at 3,700, and Rivers with Henry, and maybe even Rivers with Ty Williams. So a lot of Rivers stacks for me, 4 or 5 of them with different players. Keenum with Diggs. So Diggs is 1,300 less than less than Thielen, 6,200, and at some point Diggs is going to go off. Diggs is just too talented, and this may be the game. So this is the game where I'm going to fade Thielen and ride with Diggs. And then I'll also stack Keenum with McKinnon, as I said. Brady and Gronk, bottom line, Gronk wins in Buffalo. Gronk goes home to Buffalo and wants to spike the ball for his family. So while it's 7,300, I'll only use Gronk with Brady, but I will do a Brady-Gronk stack. Simeon, Demaryius Thomas, I said it before, 4,900, 5,300 for Thomas. 29th against wide receiver ones. I mean, Simeon Thomas hit here with what else you can put around it, and you are looking at a massive, massive week. And then again, McCown, Anderson, Smith, Hill. I'll have a little bit of that in the game stack. Outside of that, I love Jordy at 4,400. I love Randall Cobb at 3,900. Devontae Adams, 6,500. These are his last 3 weeks. 19, 23, 20. Guy is killing it with Hundley. Even while Hundley has not done well, he's killing it with Hundley. All over Devontae Adams. Larry Fitzgerald, $6,000. I'll have him in half of my lineups. He is targeted multiple times. He's an absolute beast, and he's just too cheap. Touchdown and 8 to 10 targets possible there. And I like Ted Ginn at 5,100 for a long play in a revenge game. If they're going to beat Carolina through the air, I like that opportunity, although obviously not with Michael Thomas. Tight ends, Travis Henry. They're 32nd against the tight end, Cleveland, 4,200. Has the chance for a big game. He also has the chance for duds, and there's a lot of options on San Diego. If you want to go cheap, Jordan Howard. I think Brate's banged up at best, struggling. Howard is now kind of emerging as the bigger threat, higher ceiling playmaker, and he's only 2,800 against a team that is 22nd against tight ends there in the matchup. Gronk, I told you I'll have him with Brady in a stack, and that is it. I think Jared Cook will be incredible chalk. He's expensive. He's 5,400. He will get targeted a lot, but he will be crazily owned because of Crabtree and Cooper being out. So I'm going to go very, very light on Cook. Maybe one stack with Carr, but that would be about it. And Delaney Walker, if you want to pay up at 5,600, is putting up double digits every week in a really good matchup against Houston. And, again, if you really want to go cheap again, you got Ben Watson at 3,100. Targeted a lot, not a lot of a ceiling there, so I'd rather do Howard at 20. I'd rather go down to Jordan Howard at 2,800 and have the upside of a big play. For defense, for me, I'm looking at 3 this week, different price tiers. Chargers are playing at home. Their defense is killing it. They're putting up 19, 25, 10, 27. I've been riding them. 3 of those are the last, 4 of the last 5 weeks. $4,000 against, a Cleveland disaster on the road, going all the way across country. So Chargers will be the chalk, but sometimes the chalk is okay, especially with the defense. I think the Patriots are interesting. I worry a little bit about this one, but they've also quietly put up great numbers the last 5 weeks defensively, and they're cheaper. So I think that's a little riskier, but I like them, and I think Buffalo isn't. That game worries me. It's a trap game, so I'll be a little careful on that one. I'd rather go up to the Chargers. But I think if you need to save money, you can play the Patriots. And then I like the Packers. If you really need to save money, if you just can't fit in the Chargers, Packers at home, 2,800. Again, I love the Packers in this game. Cold weather. I just think this is a really good game for them. Let's do it.